Hi everyone, my name is Catherine Messina and my piece is called Throughline. The inspiration for Throughline came kind of from some personal research that I was diving into about what happens if you're in a certain moment, a certain place at a certain time, and how that can really change the course of your entire life's trajectory, which sounds big, and in some cases it is really big. There's certainly stories about historical events, including in my own life, where somebody's entire life was changed by a bus running late. But then on smaller cases, people just meeting each other on planes and spaces. So how we actually started the process was each cast member got a story of a person who went through one of these kind of incidents, and they used that for inspiration in creating duets, and the work kind of just went from there. The process of first choreographing the work was very collaborative, and we took this initial idea and we also ran with it. I was really interested in the lighting design, kind of showing these different duets as they move throughout space, and that was all really present as I was creating. The remounting actually was a lot faster than I thought. It was honestly my first experience remounting a work that I had previously created with that much time in between. So it was about a year, and it was just really in everybody's bodies. We were just really interested to see. It was like, as we started the phrase, oh, there it is, it's coming back already. And that was really satisfying and enriching because it allowed us to kind of play with a few things. And I was lucky that I had almost the original cast return, which is really exciting and fulfilling to be able to give them this opportunity to kind of see the work through fulfillment. I have been involved with Dance Canvas for a number of years. As some of you know, I've danced, I've interned, so it was really exciting to come back as a choreographer. And I think one of my big takeaways is just really how amazing the team was, especially in the past year, and how y'all really fought for us to be able to get our piece on stage or done if we wanted to, but also respected if people needed to take a step back, and just kind of the opportunities that opened up through being a choreographer for this, and how that is able to kind of carry forward, not just in the city of Atlanta, but in the future. So I'm really grateful for kind of my, well, I guess because of the pandemic, my 4 years with Dance Canvas, and how that has really shaped my growth as an artist in the city.
name is Kayla Carter, and the title of my piece is We Are One, with a question mark. The inspiration for my piece was really conformity and all the stuff that goes into it. Nobody ever wants to conform, but society has it so that we do, and even when you try really hard to break out of those social norms, you just end up conforming to something else. And so at the root of it, originality is really hard to come by, because you're always going to end up falling into another way of thinking that someone else already has. My original process with choreographing, it was hard in all the ways that it typically is to get a new piece started, just making sure the intention is clear, making sure the dancers understand what they're doing, just regular stuff. But remounting it, it came with new issues, because obviously we are in a pandemic, and so we have to stick by COVID guidelines. I have a decently smaller cast now, so it was taking something that I set on a lot of people and scaling it down significantly, but not losing any of the intent or the meaning or what I was trying to convey. So that was a little challenging, but I think overall both processes were good. Like, I wouldn't change either of them. It was just taking the time to reframe my mindset and finding what was going to be the most clear. I would describe myself as a frantic but serious choreographer. Everything seems very out of place in the beginning, but since I try and stay focused, by the end it all comes together and we get rid of all the anxiousness. Something I will take away from this program is not being hesitant to edit my work, not holding on to things that I can tell probably shouldn't be there anymore, or not being afraid to switch around sections, playing with the order, playing with the dynamics, the tempo, the music, everything, not being too attached, so that we can get it to where it needs to be in the end and have it be the best that it can be. I hope you all enjoy it.
My name is Angela Harris, and I'm the Executive Artistic Director of Dance Canvas, and I choreographed a piece called V, which is life in French. During this period of time, I found myself in my house, in my head, not really in a creative zone. When the opportunity arose for Dance Canvas to come back to stage and to have our pieces filmed, I thought about taking the time to get in the studio with dancers. And one of the blessings of this time period, if you can look at it like that, is that there were a lot of artists that were back in Atlanta and home, dancers that I had worked with at one point in time before when they were younger, and new dancers that I hadn't worked with before. And what it showed me and kind of invigorated in me was wanting to get in the studio and wanting to try new movement out. And so when I was conceptualizing what I was going to create, I called one of the dancers that I had the opportunity to work with during this period of time, and we just got in the studio together, and I started to work on a piece that reflected a journey in a person's life. The periods in time where you're unsure and you don't want to necessarily venture out, and the anxiety that grows within us as we're either growing up or coming into ourselves, and then finally getting to a place where you realize that you just need to live and you need to enjoy and you need to feel empowered and you need to take control. And so you'll see in this work the kind of journey and pathway that the dancer takes during it. My name is Vanessa Zabari.
And I'm Mary Beth Stinson, and the piece that we are presenting is You and Me.
The inspiration was the song and our poet, and his name is Abyss.
I think the original process of the work was that we wanted to try to do something that was unique. So we talked about doing floor choreography. She had the idea to work with a poet. So both of those things were innately unique, so we wanted to combine them. And this was one of the first pieces that we did as a company that was, long, and we were established as a group. So we were just really excited, especially because his piece was about love, so that kind of drove the piece to go forward. When we revisited it a year later, it was different because things have happened, the world has shifted, so it just had different energy. But I will say, since the group has grown, it was very comfortable to come back to a piece that we had done before, and it was really nice to be able to revisit it and to add some things and improve it. So having help, guidance, especially in the feedback sessions, to be able to hear other people's opinions, be around other artists, is a really big takeaway.
We started Tap Rebels 2018 with the help of Angela. She was our mentor, and we're very, very thankful for her. It was just really an idea, just the idea of having a tap company in Atlanta.
and being able to perform outside of us teaching was awesome.
When Angela Harris presented the idea to you about the Tap Rebels,
Yes.
we both agreed that there was a market for it, that there are an incredible amount of tap dancers in Atlanta that do nothing but really teach and really could use the opportunity to perform. And I really like that we've met a lot of the dancers through Dance Canvas.
my questions. She's the reason for this love's confession. My heart has her lips impression. She chokeholds the cardiac. She knows how to make her point like a party hat. She down for the ride like a martyr cat. Stop thinking I didn't want to be a part of that. I'm not the average cat. I maintain a 4.0 with the flow. She has a glow that affects my blood flow. Got me lovesick, on lockdown and loving it. Her personal space, I'm hugging it. I love you enough for two, I think I'm pregnant. You and I verse, universe, nothing but the world between. We king and queen. I want to coach our team and make you my assistant. I want to chase you like penance. Your conversation like good love making, boo. I don't know when to end it. So baby, give it to me like flip mode. Type of chick that'll make you change your zip code. Had me feeling butt naked, feeling like strip clubs. had a hold on me like a got his #1 fan, you know, first row, every show, from news to the flow, for better or for worse, I'm told my gift is my curse. Type of shit that'll carry the fifth in the purse, grip the 4/5 like a nurse, harm do me none, tattoo my name next to her mom since birth. This is this woman's worth, and she means the world to me, and above all else, she is just she. Tears fall from my face as though pain is taking place. Cause I was looking for wifey in the face and in the waist, and I saw in this place, so serene. I finally found my cream, whom only seen in my dreams. And it was then my heart was busting at the seams. She fine as hell, but this feeling was way past them blue jeans. Like her caramel skin, she felt like my extended next of kin. This ain't lustin', boo, it's more like where I fit in. Mates joined at the soul, cause God broke the mold. And I finally found the one whom I wanted to grow old, feeling young, sprung, springy like the wordplay from the tip of my tongue. You're the air that I needed to breathe. Take my lung and fill it with your essence, cause love has made me feel its presence. You give me full moons, others can't give me crescents. And I believe in love at first sight, but that ain't right, cause I believe in love at first feel. Cause I felt you long before I saw you. I'm just keeping it real. And all I can do is think about the greatest love of all. You guided me in a spiritual menage. My heart was broken down, but I took it to this woman's garage. Cause it's in need of overhauling. This sensitive man has been on his knees, bawling, thanking God for true blessings. Will you send me the best cheat sheet for life's lessons? She deeper than my name, so why can't she have it? Mr. Biska be my wig. I love you to death, because you handle your biz. I love you for what you are and for who you is. So don't take my proposal indecently. This was inspired by a conversation we had recently. This be the realest stuff that I ever wrote. You can put a mouth on my heart. These words, they just spoke. And that silence and blood, let these words soak to the driest spots of your inner being. God, give me the understanding to comprehend the things I'm having trouble seeing. I really need to confess the love I once knew from a past life. Love was so strong, I had to find this woman twice. I could see in the future, jumping the broom, throwing the rice. My girl Vanessa told me straight up a bitch was probably your wife. And she knows me so she wouldn't lie, but I could have never told you. This icon's echo, travel distance in my mind, equivalent to walking to Soweto. On flash shows, camera roll, she like, whoa. You meet people for reasons, seasons, and lifetimes. In my lifetime, I'll flaunt what God has given. Yes, he's God driven, yes, he's living. Cause if I'm Jordan, she my Pippin. Even if the relationship on the rocks, I'm still sipping. Like missionary position, I'm on top of my game. I can say a whole lot more, but how many ways can I say my life won't be the same when we take my last name?